So, hello everyone. It's great to have you here. We would love to hear from you where you have joined us from, and please keep on sharing your status from the in the chat box. So, I'm Shruti. I'm the founder of Goal is B, and I'm delighted to have the opportunity to introduce a remarkable panel to discuss the founding class placements at the BIT School of Management. As this is a live discussion, please feel free to share and put up your questions in the chat box, and the team would be happy to address them. Hi, Bhavyashri. Hi, Rishabh. Bhavyashri is joining us from Ahmedabad. Rishabh is joining us from Delhi. Thank you for joining us. In case you have any questions about the program or about the school, please do feel free to share these questions. Funny, hi. Abhinav, thank you for joining us from Hyderabad. It's a pleasure to have you here. Keep on pouring in your questions from wherever you have joined, and thank you for joining us. So, I'm Shruti, and I'm the founder of Golisb. I'm delighted to have the opportunity. And let us talk about BITSoM. So, BITSoM is a new age business school from BITS Pilani. It offers a 2-year full-time MBA in Mumbai. The founding class of 138 students started in July 2021 and is graduating in April 23. So the class of 23 at BITSoM comprises a diverse mix of students from engineering, business, science, and arts backgrounds. And 35% of the class comprises female students. The median test scores represented in the class at BITSoM are as follows. We have the median CAT score about 94 percentile. The median GMAT score is around 680. And the median GRE score has been around 316 in the past intake. So, guys, if you have any questions, please keep on sharing. We will be happy to take it up. So today, to discuss the founding class placements at BITSoM, we have esteemed panelists from the school, Mr. Uday Virmani. Hello, sir. Mr. Mandar Desai. Hello. And students from the founding class, Mr. Gurucharan and Miss Priya. So thank you everyone for joining us. Mr. Uday Virmani, he's the Assistant Dean External Engagements at BIT School of Management. He leads Industry Partnership and Career Services, Executive Education and Alumni Relations. Prior to joining BITSoM, Uday served as the Senior Director, Career Advancement Services at the Indian School of Business for its Hyderabad and Mohali campus. Uday worked with Zoom Corporation, PayPal Services, Laureate International University, Citibank, Oracle Financial Software Services, and other organizations. He brings over 21 years of corporate experience in the education and the BFSI sectors, working in the general management, strategy, product management, sales, business development, and operations domains. Mr. Mandar Desai, he leads the industry partnerships and career services team at BITSoM. He has over 25 years of rich experience in higher education, corporate banking, environmental engineering, and thermal engineering across functions such as career services, strategic industry partnerships, business development, key account management, and corporate credit. So prior to joining BITSoM, he was with the Indian School of Business as an associate director, leading the finance domain of the career services. And he has worked with banks like RBL, HSBC, Axis, and ICICI Bank in the corporate lending space. He's also been associated with B schools like NMIMS and DSIMS as a visiting faculty for various finance subjects. And we have Mr. Gurucharan. He's a founding class student. He was a digital strategist before he joined BITSoM and at Kaveri Hospitals Private Limited. He also has authored 3 books, and he has held leadership positions with ECE Association, Robotics and AI Club, Sri Venkateswara College in Engineering, and he has been the executive member of the Youth Red Cross. Miss Priya, who's also the founding class student, she has been a senior software engineer at Persistent Systems Limited. She has been an active member of IEEE student branch and the national level technical festival, and she represented Amravati division in her in the inter-school badminton tournaments. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we hope to address different aspects of the placement process to understand how it is actually done at BITSoM more deeply. So we have more questions coming in. That is from Rishabh Bansal and Bhavyashri Jain. I think Rishabh and Bhavyashri, you will have more answers over the course of the discussion that we have in the next few minutes. Right. So coming to the placements, placements at the business school is actually a symbol of how strongly the industry perceives the students graduating from the institution, and comprehending the placements on the other hand for the MBA prospective MBA students. is actually, very important for them to understand how the school prepares them to achieve their career goals. So, to summarize the placement outcomes for the school, uh, it is impressive to know that BITSoM has recorded an average CTC of 23.85 lakhs per annum, and the highest CTC has been close to 50.10 lakhs per annum. So, let us discuss with Mr. Uday and Mr. Mandar about their insights on navigating the placements for students at BITSoM. So, sir, we would first like to understand, how is the placement committee or the placement process organized at BITSoM? How do you actually go about it from the start?
Good evening, Shruti. First of all, thank you so much for having us here for the discussion. See, we, as very rightly said by you, we come under the aegis of BITS Pilani. And though BITS Pilani has existed for more than 50 years, we as a school have been there for little less than 2 years now. In fact, we'll complete the graduation of our first class will happen during this week itself. So we have as a school have progressed pretty well if you look at the performance that we have got, and this is not only about the final placements that I'm talking about. I think that this journey started right when we got a very interesting class into our classroom. I think our method of selection has been very different from the other traditional 2 year MBA programs in the country, purely because we are a global business school. We are the second global business school in the country after ISB. ISB, of course, offers for is a 1 year offering, and it basically brings in students with experience. The good part about BITSoM is that we have a good mix of digital natives as well as migrants studying together. And so, as I said, the process of admissions has been very, very exceptional. Where we were very lucky with our founding class because when we started the school, the COVID was in air, and there were many candidates who had actually got the admit from foreign universities and foreign business school, gave up on those offers, and they decided that they will back a new commodity called BITSoM. And I think the journey has been absolutely fantastic. We not only provide great education around business, but also because we come under the umbrella of BITS Pilani, there's a lot of emphasis around technology and innovation. In fact, technology is an underpinning rather than a vertical; it's an horizontal. Every student in our class goes through courses like data visualization, product design, design thinking, network enterprises. So I think the curriculum is very, very contemporary, just to the requirement of the industry. And also, along with training people for business and technology, we also have brought in courses in humanity and liberal arts. So what happens is that we are preparing our talent also for the society. So I think this transformational journey has been massive. I can very proudly say, I have spent my last decade as a student of management education. I've also spent, worked as an administrator. The kind of spike that we have witnessed, as far as the founding class is concerned, I don't think any other business school, forget about in India, but in globe would have experienced this. So I think this transformation journey has definitely helped in presenting the best possible talent to the market. And the testimony is that we have seen three placement cycles over the last 2 years, two summer placements and now the final placements, and we have received a lot of warmth and a lot of respect from the industry. One is, of course, our work became a little easier because we had the BITS Pilani brand. We also have friends in the large ABG group. So the ecosystem is definitely enabling us. But end of the day, the talent has to go and perform in the market. So the founding class, which got placed for the summer placements last year, where we had almost 49 firms to come and recruit our students, where our average stipend was around about 1.6. But the students went and did so well that the very first class saw some 45 PPOs coming in, 46 PPOs coming in. And so that was an indication that this talent is here to stay and to do well. And because of their good performance, we also saw a great summers for the incoming class, which happened this year. And we saw a delta of around about 33% in their median and 25% in their average. But for that, the credit lot goes to the founding class because they had created solid footprints. And we had to just follow that same template. And now, because they had done well, there was a lot of recognition in the industry. We saw companies coming in and doing the hiring for the final placements. And the good part is that usually when the schools come up, they are known for consulting or for technology or for general management or for marketing. But as far as BITSoM is concerned, I think we have done well across the industry, across the domain. I mean, we had consulting firms coming in, we had consumer product firms which were there to participate, we had IB and PE firms which came and did the hiring, and of course, we had the general management firms which did the placements. So it's basically the quality of students that we bring into the class, the kind of rigor in the form of 1700 hours of teaching that we have, then very differentiated program where we have the liberal arts and humanity being taught to our students in the form of winning at the workplace. There's something called the PDP which we have, which the students and Mandar will speak more about it. I don't want to steal their thunder, which basically prepares the students for their career aspirations. Plus, we are one of the most highly integrated business school when it comes to the industry in the forms of corporate life projects, 2 year MBA. It is a 2 year MBA, so we have the internship residing in between the first year and the second year. But the kind of industry exposure that we bring in through the leaders coming and speaking to our students, interacting with them, mentoring them. Then we also have this winning at the workplace, which I had mentioned earlier. It brings in a lot of practitioners from the industry. As far as the
Mm-hmm.
fundamental courses are concerned, the core courses and the specialization is taught by the foreign faculty, which comes from the different parts of the world. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
also something very unique as far as the 2 year MBA program is concerned. Only ISB had witnessed where international faculty used to come and teach, and now we are doing it. Plus, we also have the Indian faculty coming and teaching. So, I think it's a good combination that is going in for us. Plus, there is a lot of outside the classroom learning that is happening. So there's a lot of interventions that basically is helping the students to prepare. Plus, many of them also had experience before they came in. So, they could build on their skills, they could build on their abilities, and the results are there for everyone to see. I think extremely happy and proud what we have created and achieved together as a unit. See, statistics are definitely there. I always believe numbers are for more for today, but I think the kind of foundations that we have created, the kind of systems and processes that we have made, our tomorrow is also very strong and good. So, as far as placement process is concerned, Shruti, we have a dedicated career services team. Unlike other 2 year MBA programs where the student body runs the process, because we are a new business school and we have to create relationships with the corporate, we have to take our value proposition to them. We needed a team of professionals. We have a team of around about 5 to 6 people who have almost a decade or more than that, experience in the industry, and who have been brought in, who have worked with other B schools in the past, or with the industry, or with the corporates. And we have made a very good combination of people who are basically doing this outreach across the country, and we have divided it into regions. So, and so that the outreach is not only limited to one particular center, but it's basically across the country. Purely because we are a national business school, we take our students
Yeah.
through GMAT, GRE, and CAT. We are not
Yeah.
basically limited to Mumbai or Western region. We get our students from across the country. So that's how the career service team also has been built. Just to throw some numbers, over the last 1 year, we connected with some 300 plus clients in the form of either corporate meetings or getting them on the campus to interact with our students. Uh, Placecom is there, but that acts as an enabler to create systems
Mm.
and processes to act as an intermediary between the IPCs, that is a career services team, and the students, so that we know what their aspirations are. We have a very democratic and an inclusive process where the views and thoughts of students are taken into consideration for creating recruiter policies, for creating student policies, and also how we should have a complete business development plan enabled and executed. So I think we work together as a team, as a group. The only difference is that the platform doesn't work for the outreach or the business development that is done by the professional team. But in terms of strategic inputs, in terms of process creation, in terms of the operational execution, the platform plays a very important role. I'll take a pause here. Mandar, anything that you would like to have, please have. Please do so.
No, I think we have covered most of the aspects. One major difference that I may also like to add here is that we follow a scientific method of business outreach, wherein which is called as a Miller-Hyman business model, wherein we reach out to all the constituents across an organization. So it's not limiting ourselves to only the HR or the campus leads. We are actually dealing with the businesses, and in a way are able to create opportunities, additional opportunities for the students.
Sir, please enlighten us on the Miller-Hyman business model and how is it utilized on the campus?
So the Miller-Hyman business model actually maps the buyers or the users, if I may say so. Technically, the word is buyer, so hence I use the word buyer. So there are four types of buyers of the talent. Technical buyers who are actually the campus leads or the HR connects. Then you have the user buyers who are actually going to be using the hires. So these could be departmental heads, functional heads, Then you have the economic buyers who actually put the money for the hiring. Basically, it's the founders, the CEOs, and the top management who's actually committing the resources for the particular hiring. And finally, you have the coaches. Coaches are basically friends of BITSoM. It could be BITS Pilani alumni. It could be people who've kind of taught at the institute. It could be people whom we've been working with over the years and who have their best interests of the school at their heart. So given this particular aspect, what happens is, we are able to kind of evaluate the requirements for the organization as a whole and are able to create opportunities for the students.
Yes, I think this actually addresses that a lot of preparation goes into, the placement process over the course of the program. So this is actually a very good initiative which is taken up by BITSoM to identify the industry trends and talent needs. So what else do you think, sir, actually contributes to preparing the batch to stand out in this competitive process? Or maybe, going further into identifying the industry trends and talent needs so that over the course of the two years, the students are prepared to take up that competitive process at the end of their MBA program.
So as Uday mentioned, there is an inside the classroom learning which is taken up largely by the faculty. And what we
Yes.
also do is we have a property by the name of Spotlight, learn from the industry practitioners. So this year
Mm-hmm.
we've had almost more than about 40-45 sessions from senior leaders from the industry who have come and spoken to the students. Now, what this does is it gives them practical flavor of the industry, a perspective from the business end and the business leader's journey. And by virtue of these engagements, what it also does is supplements the classroom learning that the students would be undergoing from the faculty. So it's a mix of inside the classroom and outside the classroom perspective as such. We also work with the L&D partners that we have in terms of creating opportunities for the students for the resume reviews, mock interview sessions, industry deep dives. We try and give them feedback and inputs on the industry trends, and I think that stands them in good stead eventually, because that's more of a holistic evaluation and understanding of the market, so to say.
Yes, and career growth actually, so to say, has taken a whole new dimension and urgency post-COVID. Everybody's looking at a shift. They're looking at career transitions. So, what are the most prominent skills that you feel, the school has focused on developing through this initiative?
Hi, Shruti. I think there was a bit of a,
I think I missed out on that. So what I
yes.
was trying to say over here was that career growth has actually taken a new dimension post COVID, and there's a new urgency towards taking that shift. So when students join with the perspective of making that shift, what are the most prominent skills that the school focuses on developing through these initiatives? So are these
Yeah.
the technical skills, leadership skills? So what do you think is most important, and how does the school do it?
See, I think in the post-COVID era, in fact, for that matter, it started the pre-COVID. There was a recession also, if you remember, 2 to 3 years back. But yet we saw good placements happening at the premium campus because
Hmm.
companies were looking for differentiated talent. They were looking for people who could go and perform in new age
Yes.
firms, and also companies which were, unwired, and they were trying to, transform themselves. They were looking for people who could contribute with a knowledge in artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data. So, see, we are a business school. We don't teach, creating technologies, but we basically what we do is that we help students to understand how new age technologies can be used for improvement of business models. So what the corporates were looking for were they were looking for people who had good knowledge about the new age functions, people who were good in, as far as group dynamics is concerned, great in communication skills, excellent in people management, those who had handled large P&Ls and commercials. So I think that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to prepare talent who have, who are very good when it comes to their EQ, not only the IQ. I think the test taking and the scores by themselves takes care of that particular bit. But what we are also trying to do is that we are trying to develop EQ. Now that winning at the workplace, I think, which is a very, very unique offering that we have. We are trying to prepare our students as far as being a holistic talent is concerned. So we do teach them, they are, about. I mean, see, it's a 2 year MBA program. We are just building on what the skills that they have. We are just trying to enhance it and trying to make it a little more accentuated. So
Yes.
whether it is your art of writing, or basically your public speaking skills, or how you work in group dynamics, the entire construct of the program has been done in such a manner that people improve as far as their soft skills are concerned, or the EQ ability is concerned. See, fundamentally, those who have made it to an MBA program because of the virtue of their past academic background, they are good. Fundamentally, they are very, very strong. But what we try to
Yes.
do is that we try to give them an education around business, but at the same time, we teach them how to excel at the place of work. So, in many ways, we are trying to prepare a talent which is for the future of work, and we want them to hit the road running from day one itself. And that's what the wow, or the outside the classroom learning, or for that matter the collaboration that we have done with our L&D partners, are helping our students to have a greater exposure about the larger world. Then of course when they do their corporate life projects, uh, or the summer internship, they get kind of an idea what the new age is and what kind of new skills that are needed. In fact, there was a study which was done by the GMAC, Shruti, which spoke about that what companies are looking for. They're looking for basically good communication skills, ability to interact well with your colleagues, able to navigate yourself during the ambiguity. Those are the skills what the companies are looking for, and that's what we are trying to build in. Very happy that we could do it to a great extent. We can see changes that have happened in the students, the kind of feedback that we have got from the recruiters. They said that this kind of an experience they have not got at any other B school, because I think it's a very conscious efforts that we have put in. We are not only trying to prepare people to crack jobs, but also we are ensuring that they do go and do well in those jobs.
Yes, and just taking a moment of a pause over here. So, guys who are joining us now in this particular live event, we are here with the panel from BIT School of Management, and we are discussing the founding class placements at the BIT School of Management in the recent placement cycle. And they have just we are joined by the admissions. We are joined by the admissions team on the chat, and we have the esteemed panel who's discussing their perspectives on the placement process. So please feel free to put in your questions wherever you feel you have any. So, sir, this program, actually, the BIT School of Management, is actually a program which accepts the GMAT or the GRE score, plus itself, gives a summer internship option. So, how are the summer internships in strategic to the final placement? Does it how does it fall into place when we look at the final placements? So, how is the summer internship planned?
Very much, Ruti. I think, as far as the 2 year MBA program is concerned, many industries look at summers as a conduit to do the recruitment, especially the sectors like FMCG, consumer durables, investment banking, private equity, also some of the product firms. They look at summers because, it's a 2 year MBA program. Relatively, the vintage is lower in terms of experience when we compare to a 1 year MBA. See, if you look at the BITSoM founding class experience range, it's the sweet spot is around about 2.5 years. So that testing of the talent becomes very, very critical. So 50% of the class traditionally in a 2 year MBA program gets placed through the pre-placement offers or the PPIs which gets generated during the summer placements. So there's something called testing of three T's: talent, temperament, and technique, which many firms want to do it, and Summer plays an excellent platform for it. In fact, if you look at our founding class, we got almost 46, 47 PPOs. I'm not counting the PPIs. And out of this 46, 47 PPOs, 35, 36 got accepted from a class of 138. So summer placements plays an extremely important role. FMCG firms for sure, consumer durables, even IB and PE, they just look at summers as the way to come and do the recruitment. It's not only about BITSoM, which is relatively a new school, but also also at the legacy business schools. The summer internship is a platform for the recruitment.
Right. And when I went through this placement release, actually I saw that the consulting companies like McKinsey, Bain and Company, Kearney, PwC, Deloitte India, and BFSI companies have recruited in the very first year of placements for the school. So how was it possible to get the top recruiters in the very first year of placements for the institution?
I think it's a combination of many things. One is throughout those 2 years there has been a constant engagement with the recruiters. We have tried to create many level of interventions where they could come and see the talent and experience it. So I think basically to enable them and to make them understand that there's another quality business school in the country which can provide talent which is right up there. Also, I think we were helped because we had many friends of BITSoM who basically helped us in this endeavor. So I think senior buyers, the Miller Hyman model, which Mandar mentioned, I think school was very successfully able to map these critical accounts. And at various intervals, we could get these senior buyers to come and interact and engage with our students. So I think during that course, they realized the kind of quality that we have. In fact, you're absolutely right. In the very first year, to get McKinsey, BCG, Bain, AT Kearney, and ADL is absolutely surreal. You know, many legacy schools have taken almost a decade to get this kind of a lineup. I think, but we have been very, very fortunate. We live in different eras also, Shruti. I think because the market has expanded, so has the demand. So that was also has helped us because we see a big transformational journey that is happening as far as the Indian corporate is concerned, and there's a lot of work which the consulting firms are getting, and so they are looking for great campuses to come and do the hiring. But to get ourselves tagged as a premium campus and for these consulting firms to come and hire in the very first year, I think it's a great achievement.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Uday, and thank you, Mr. Mandar, for your insights. Helped us understand how the school plans and prepares students for this very important phase of their career. I have just one last question. That is, through your years of experience, would be your insights as to how aspirants who are looking at applying to business schools, how should they build a perspective while when they read a press release or when they read a, press release about the placements, achievements of any school?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very good Shruti. It's a very good question, Shruti, because I think it also has a layer about the fact that the return on investment as far as the MBA program gives. See, we are a practical academy, any business school. We are not an academy. We are not a philosophy. We are not there for philosophy. So every student who comes to an MBA school is looking to resurrect their careers, or basically they want a new journey to start on a great note. But at the same time, I think all I can say, not as an administrator, but also someone who has been a student of an MBA program, we should have a long term perspective also. I think when you're coming to a B school, you're coming here for great learning, to get connected with some great minds. You're creating a network, which is going to stay with you for a lifetime. So that peer to peer learning and that connect is an asset that you're going to create, and also the kind of an exposure that you're going to get to an external world. You are going to study interdisciplinary courses, go through almost 40 to 50 courses during the 2 year program. The kind of interaction that you will have from with the leaders coming from the different walks of life, but this is a lifetime experience, and this is something which is going to stay with you. So when for any aspirant, when you're planning to do your MBA program, placement is critical, but that should not be the only end. I think MBA is a process, it is a journey which needs to be enjoyed. It should be seen as an opportunity. And if things are done in the right manner, the outcome also would be good.
Yes,
I know
definitely.
sounds a little philosophical, but at the end of the day, that's the reality, and I'm sure Gurucharan and Priya will vouch for this. I think you need to follow a process. You need to enjoy the quality of education what a great institute gives, the kind of network that you create. I mean, I will just like to give an example of my dean, Dr. Ranjan Banerjee. He did his engineering from IIT Bombay. He's an MBA from IIM Calcutta. But his batchmates, were one of the some of the great friends of BITSoM who supported the cause as far as building the great account portfolio which we have done. So these relations, these network are there for lifetime.
Yes, definitely. And guys, we see you joining in uh, on this discussion from different places. Please share where you are joining us from and keep on pouring in your questions. We'll be happy to take them up. So the placements process, it is a test of nerves, but together they face it with all their worth. Success achieved, a shared glory, a story of triumph, an everlasting story. So let's take this discussion forward with the students of the founding class, Mr. Gurcharan and Ms. Priya. Thank you once again for joining us today. And we understand that you will be graduating in a few days. What an exhilarating period of your life. I can remember my own. And how does it feel to be a part of the founding class and the first batch going out in the industry? So please share your views, Mr. Gurcharan.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Shruti. Thank you for having us here. As you said, we will be graduating in another few days, and our graduation ceremony is also on the 14th. So, as a founding batch, it was a really big roller coaster experience because there were a lot of set processes, as well as there were a lot of processes like clubs and committees where we had to start from the scratch. and which in itself was a very enriching experience, because not every batch has this incredible experience of setting the culture for a brand that is going to grow ahead. That is one. And in terms of learning, when we look back at it, as Uday sir said, though the placements have been really great in BITSoM, but it is not the only thing that we carry, because overall as a person I have evolved throughout these 2 years. I've become more self-aware of myself, and that is also something that I'm taking forward, and very excited to go into the workforce as well.
Excellent. And Priya, do you feel you are ready for the challenging world of business? How has your experience been?
Hi Shruti, thank you for having us here. So, adding to what Gurcharan said, as a student of the founding class, you have had the opportunity to set so many processes and be a part of building the institute ground up. The amount of uncertainties you have faced, challenges that have come your way, some of them not in our control. So, for example, last year when the things started going haywire in the tech world, it sort of brings in a wave of anxiety amongst everyone, be it students or be it anyone who's in the industry. So these two, and more so when you are a first batch of the institute, so you don't know what it's going to look like. So we feel that all of these 2 years combined has prepared us mentally as well as with professional skills, all the coursework that we have gone through, all the learnings in the classroom. So it has kind of helped us navigate this VUCA world, and we are very confident of making our mark once we enter the industry.
Excellent. And that's actually, another question that brings us to another question, that were you or the batch as a whole apprehensive of how the placements process would be carried out when they joined? In case, Priya, you would like to go first on this.
Yeah, sure. So, when we decided to join BITSoM, it was a calculated risk for most of us and a leap of faith to some extent, because, like we discussed in the past half an hour, placements are very important in a business school, and when you do not have that data, you just have to take that leap of faith. So we were very confident because of the career services team, like Uday sir and Mandar sir mentioned, they had a process in place. We could see them working on the campus day and night for us. So we were positive about it. Yes, we did feel a little bit of anxiety when the economy started taking a downturn last year, and that is when the placement season was supposed to start. And at that time, we what we did to overcome that was we voiced our concerns. We spoke to people. Everyone in the institute was very approachable and helped us navigate it, and made us realize that the only thing we could do is to prepare on is to focus on our preparation and prepare ourselves for whatever is to come. We can't control the external. Let's focus on putting our best foot forward. So together as a batch, I think we were able to navigate it, and the numbers speak for themselves.
Excellent. And rightly so, when you are in such a situation, it is always not the past data which will help you. It will always also be your efforts that you put in along with the institution. The institution alone is not responsible. You as students, you as the founding batch are equally responsible. But in case Gurcharan, you would like to discuss about, how you were supported by the BIT School of Management in preparation of the placements process. How is the placement process, how does it start? It would really help the other students to understand how the process is laid out in terms of a timeline and the activities that you are involved in.
Yeah, sure. Adding on to what Priya said, initially there were a few apprehensions because placement is a season of a little bit of stress. But I think the journey in BITSoM, right when it started with the resume review sessions, which happened almost 3 to 4 months before the placements, which followed by an interest form of which domains specific students are interested to go into. And then we were actually mapped to people who can actually review our resumes and fine tune it for the specific job domains. So these kind of
Mm-hmm.
activities made sure that we were in some kind of good shape before the interviews. And followed by this, we had a really good external partner who prepared us for interviews, where personally who was interested in marketing, before my final interview I had around 4 mock interviews. And we also had a platform where we could actually see how well we performed relatively to our past interviews as well. So all these kind of activities, along with the IPCS and the specific clubs and committees in the college, where we also roped in some alumni from BITS Pilani who are in the relevant field currently. They also supported us. So in that way, I think it was a very seamless experience. And talking about the placement process in itself, from when it started, is very structured. So we got a clear idea of what companies are lined up, so that we could actually plan and apply accordingly. So this is a rough overall structure of the process, I would like to say.
Right. And Priya, in case you would like to add on to this, how you were supported by the institution in terms of the placement process and what was your experience throughout?
So, like Guru said, the process for the preparation for the final placement starts way in advance. So, for us, the placement started in January. So, we started preparing for it from the August of the previous year. So the way it started was clubs and committees reached out to BITS Pilani alumni. So for example, I am a product management enthusiast and an aspirant back then. So we reached out to the co-founders of PM School, Nikunj and Ankit, who are also BITS Pilani alumni and who were kind enough to join us. And they kind of helped us understand what product management is, because it's a relatively new function and we did not have seniors to discuss it with. So they were kind enough to give us a clarity of what the role expects from you in the industry. And it starts from there by making students understand. Students have just come back from their summer internships, so hopefully they are a little more aware of what they want and how their internships went. And then from awareness we go to building our resumes from what we have, building on top of what we had for our summers. And then finally mock interviews with external partners. Clubs become very active for consulting prep. You will see people mapping, like reaching out to each other, and the clubs taking the initiative to ensure that everyone gets enough case prep. So that's how the placement process goes. It's a combination of both student-led initiatives and initiatives by the IPCS. So you get a lot of practice before you go in for the final interview.
Yes, and I think that's how it reaps the best results at the end of the day for every institution, whether it is in India or abroad. And we're just taking a moment of a pause over here. So people who are joining us on YouTube live from different parts of India or the world, please do feel free to share your queries or your questions for the team, and they will be happy to address it for you. And coming back to our discussion about the placements process. So there is a very important part that you have, which other schools probably do not have at this particular league. That is the summer internship. So Priya, coming to you first, how was your experience of the summer internship and how did you leverage it for the final interview preparation?
So for my summers, I interned with Cisco Systems as a project management intern. And for context, I have worked as a software engineer for 4 years before coming to BITSoM. So I thought that I very well know what I am looking for from my MBA, and I came with a sort of fixed mindset. And my summer internship helped me change that. So summer internship can be a good way to get out of your comfort zone, or maybe try something that you wouldn't have otherwise. So it helped me in that way. I kind of got clarity about what I'm seeking from my role after my MBA. And for the finals, it just helped me craft my story better, because in the interview the key skill is to communicate who you are and everything about yourself in those 2 minutes, to grab the recruiter's attention and to help him understand who you are. So I think that's what helped me the most about summer internship. Also, I came from a significant, like relatively more work experience, so it was a lot of fun summer internship.
Great. And Gurucharan, what are your thoughts on how the summer internship helped you prepare for your final interview preparation?
With contrast to Priya, I had only 7 months of work experience while coming into BITSoM, so I was relatively a fresher. So initially, though I was slightly inclined towards marketing, I wanted to have a general role in a leadership program. So that is when I got the opportunity of having an internship with ICICI Bank's flagship leadership program, and the role there was to set up a new media and entertainment banking system. And for someone who had absolutely no knowledge about banking, it was a very enriching experience, because even the managers there, the requirement was that they wanted a non-banking perspective to design a banking solution, and the challenging task was very interesting as well. So during my final interview, when I actually sat for marketing, it really helped me solidify my understanding of business context, because summer internship came across as the one project where I implemented all the studies that I did for 1 year and gave them as a design solution. So it was a really good pitch for me that I could actually understand consumer needs. I could actually understand from all sides of the spectrum and design marketing solutions. So this actually, though it was not in the field of marketing, it actually helped me to convey a better story in my final placements.
Yes, and the times were really turbulent over the last 2 years. So, what were some, there must have been some challenges where you or your batch faced in terms of, how the whole process will pan out for you. So, how was the system supportive of helping you navigate these? In case, Gurcharan, you would like to go first on this.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, that there was a little bit of panic in the batch as due to external conditions that were happening in the economy and in terms of hiring freeze happening in companies, etc. So, one thing that the college really did, which helped me as well as my batchmates, was communication. So, we had repetitive town halls and constant communication because we are also a batch of 138. So, the doors of Mr. Uday sir as well as our dean was always open to have a one-on-one conversation to clear my personal doubts. Even me, for personal example, I went and sat with Uday sir and my dean also to have a conversation on these are my interests and these are my concerns here and how I should prepare for it. So not just individualized attention, but also constant reassurance from their side that focus on what the controllables are at the moment, which is preparing yourself for a really good final placement. And they were doing the part of bringing companies by outreach and other activities from their side. So on the whole, I would say that constant communication and individualized support whenever we need it, along with a credible external partner who also helped us out, I think that helped us very much.
Yes. And Priya, you being a female applicant, I see that BITSOM actually has a very kudos to BITSOM for that. It has around 35% females in the batch. So, what was your experience in terms of any apprehensions that you had, and how did the system support you in navigating these?
Uh, to be honest, I never thought of it this way that I am a female applicant or Gurucharan is my male colleague or student here, because the institute has been very holistic. The learning has been very holistic. The institute is very unbiased. It doesn't make any difference. Even during the application, the admissions team is as proactive in responding to all candidates and really helped us out with any queries while we were admitted. Since we were the founding class, the head of admissions, Mr. Narottam Kishore, once we were admitted, had a one-on-one with each of us to understand what we were thinking, were we uh, did we have any questions regarding the institute. So overall it was great when we were getting admitted, and even during these 2 years, uh, irrespective of gender, the learning was very holistic because people come from such diverse backgrounds like Uday sir mentioned, and it was a great journey.
Yeah. And as an alumnus now, how do you plan to support BITSOM in the future? So, Priya, your thoughts first.
Uh, so, like we discussed earlier, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So, up till now, the career services team had to speak about us using the numbers that they had, the statistics. But statistics can only go so far. So, we are really keen to go out in the industry and put our best foot forward, contribute to the workplace using everything that we have learned in the past 2 years and more. We tried doing that at our summer internships, and seeing the results, it was so heartening to see the industry accept us with such open arms. And some of our batchmates got really great outcomes from the summer internships too. We hope to continue that in the as we go into the workforce. So that's one aspect. And being an alum, the second thing that we're always here for the institute is being the founding class, the class that helped build this institute. So we do not have seniors, and to be honest, we did miss them at times. There are times when you're feeling the pressure of the placements, and you, even if you want to, you cannot trouble Uday sir or Mandar sir or Dean at the middle of the night. You just, and you can't even trouble your friend because he's going through the same thing as you are. So at such junctures, we really missed our seniors, and we hope to be these seniors to our batches and all the batches to come. we'll be having alumni chapters in multiple cities. So my workplace will be in Bombay. So I'm hoping to contribute to the institute whenever possible, as I'm in the same city.
Right. And people who are joining us now, just taking a moment off from this discussion, please feel free to join in, jump in, tell us about where you're joining us from. In case you have any questions, feel free to share them in the chat. And you can always reach out to the team. They are all available to address your queries. So, coming back to our discussion, as the founding class graduates, what are your suggestions for aspirants to keep in mind when they research the school's career advancement report? Something that is very much vouched for, something that is very much important, and we all know that people look at. So, what would you suggest? What are the pointers that people should look out for from the student's perspective? So, Gurcharan, in case you would like to go first on this.
So, as you said, career advancement report is an instrumental tool for someone to decide on which college and is it an apt investment for him or her. But one thing that they will automatically look at is the median, the numbers, etc., etc. But I think they, as a student of a business school in the future, I think one has to go beyond that. I would say, because as Uday sir said, some schools are known for an X domain, Y domain, etc. But you cannot choose something just based on that. I think business school should have a balance of all kinds of companies coming in, because I entered the business school thinking I want something else, but I've seen multiple batchmates of mine over the course of the year change their preference, because the course and the curriculum keeps you open to multiple opportunities. So not just numbers, but I would advise them to look at what kind of firms that they are coming, what kind of roles they are coming for, and what kind of opportunities that they can explore other than the area of interest. So these are some of the areas that I would advise them to look at.
Yeah, exactly so. Because I graduated in 2006 from ISB, and we had not heard of anything like digital marketing or anything like product management. Had we stuck on to those, platforms and those benchmarks, things would have become very difficult in the years going forward. So you need to keep on adapting. You need to keep on seeing what the industry is looking for and how any school is providing you the right skills, the right opportunities, not even in the short term, but also in the long term. So it's not a preparation for the immediate achievement or the immediate ROI, as so as to say, but it's a very long-term investment when you look at investing in a business school. And Priya, what are your thoughts in terms of how you would suggest people who are searching out on business schools how they should read or how they should research the school's advancement career advancement report, so to say?
So, very similar to what Gurucharan said, that while you have the numbers available to you, what you could use this interaction or research for is understanding where you'd want to go, and is the institute providing you opportunities to go in that direction. Uh, so, just a healthy balance, maybe reach out to people who have worked in that space from that institute. Students have been reaching out to us on LinkedIn, and we have helped whoever has reached out and to the best of our capabilities. So that could be another way, so that they get the most out of their interaction with the career advancement team. So that would be my suggestion for future aspirants.
Yes. And
I just have
Mr.
one thing
Udayan,
to add.
yes, please, please, question, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, just one thing I would like to say is, as any future focused school, I think it is very important to look at the ratio of traditional firms as well as how many new age firms are participating in any process. While it is very easy for students to get swayed away by brands, I think the future belongs to brands that are upcoming, and
Coming up.
with an economy like India that is growing, I think future like new age firms play a vital part. So the ratio of how many new age firms come to a campus is also very vital that they should look at.
In fact,
Yes.
I agree to what Gurcharan has said. In fact, Shruti, since you are from ISB, the success of ISB over the last 5 years is because of the kind of new age firms that it has added to its portfolio. We see almost 150 to 200 students, a little more than that, who join the startup ecosystem. I think, when ISB was created, it was created with an idea to foster entrepreneurship and leadership. And entrepreneurship is just not fostered by having individuals to start their own enterprises, but also to be a part of that large ecosystem. And I think BITSoM also can play an equal part, because the prototype of the talent that we are getting into the class is very similar to ISB. I think very proudly we can say that both BITSoM and ISB is contributing towards reverse brain drain. We are not letting the
Very
good
true.
talent go out of the country.
And that is very much important. And so that brings me to another question, Mr. Uday and Mr. Mandar. That is, what are the future initiatives which are planned in this direction? How do you see the placement trends going forward, and what are the initiatives that the school has in mind for the next batches to come in?
Oh, I mean, this is just the beginning, Shruti. I think there are a lot of things that needs to be done. We have to make good inroads in the FMCG sector, because those firms are little conspicuous by their absence in a new campus. I think we have to expand in that particular portfolio. We need to keep doing well in those national level case study competitions. That will also open doors, for as far as we are concerned, for opportunities and build our brand. We need to build a portfolio of tech product companies. We also have, we have a good support in the form of BITS Pilani, which is there in Dubai. We are also thinking of doing some kind of an international career fair in the coming times. So there are some interesting plans and thoughts, and hopefully, we should be able to, execute them.
Great. And thank you everyone for such a candid and enlightening discussion about the founding class placements at BIT School of Management. As an MBA admissions consultant myself, I analyze the placement initiatives of different schools and programs, and I can very well, be rest assured that these initiatives are none the short of anything that is going on to be a top B school in India. And the career services are extremely important for the students' MBA journey. I must say the efforts that is put in by the BIT School of Management are remarkable, not only in training the students for the upcoming sectors and leadership roles for the short term, but also for success as professionals in the long term. So, success in business school is not only about acquiring knowledge; it is also about building strong partnerships with the students, with the people who are graduating from the program, and they taking an initiative to contribute back to their program. So, taking pains to ensure their success and empowering them to ensure that they reach new heights. And guys, for everyone to know, the round four application deadline for the BITS School of Management is due on 16th April 2023. Aspirants can apply with a valid GMAT, CAT, or a GRE score. And do go ahead and put up your application. You might be, the next success story for the Indian industry. And this brings us towards the close of the discussion today. The business school and the students align, partnership strong, success they define. Pains taken to ensure the students rise. Together they soar, reaching new highs. Congratulations to the school and the founding class to have achieved great career outcomes, and wish you all the best for the future. So, thank you for connecting with us today, and we wish the school and the panel uh, a, a lot of success and achievements for their future career goals. Any last words that Mr. Mandar, or the students have to share, please?
I think Mandar, maybe you can, do mention.
Sure. So, Shruti, thank you for having us over this evening. And, as Uday mentioned, as the students mentioned, we will continue to do more of what has worked well. And we will hope to add new dimensions as we go forward. And all I can say is this is just the beginning. It's onwards and upwards from here on. Thank you. Have a wonderful
Of
evening
course,
ahead, everyone.
of course. Thank you so much. Uh, Congratulations to Gurucharan and Priya. You are graduating soon, and all the best for your career success ahead. And we'll see you around for the next discussion as well.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Right.
Shruti. Thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.